What if the revered father of the nation who led India to freedom through peace was also a man whose radical experiments with truth shocked the world and divided opinions even today? Mahatma Gandhi, born Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi on October 2, 1869, in Porbandar, Gujarat, emerged from a modest merchant family to become the architect of India's independence in 1947. But his journey wasn't just a straight path of nonviolence. It was riddled with paradoxes that make us question, was Gandhi's unwavering commitment to truth a beacon of hope or a veil hiding uncomfortable realities? As we dive into this sensational story of resilience, you'll discover how one man's defiance against empire inspired billions, backed by historical facts, quotes from global icons, and eye-opening statistics that reveal the true cost of freedom. Gandhi's early life seemed ordinary, yet it planted seeds of rebellion. Raised in a devout Hindu household influenced by Jain principles of ahimsa, nonviolence, young Mohandas was married at 13 to Kasturba, a union that would later test his personal vows in ways that still spark debate. As a teenager, he rebelled against his vegetarian roots, secretly eating meat with friends, a small act of defiance that foreshadowed his lifelong battle with inner conflicts. Sent to London in 1888 to study law, Gandhi faced cultural shocks, adopting Western suits while grappling with identity. He passed the bar in 1891, but returning to India, he struggled as a lawyer. Here's where the paradox begins. This shy, unassuming man who once ate goat meat in secret guilt would soon transform into the Mahatma, or Great Soul, a title bestowed by poet Rabindranath Tagore. According to surveys by the Pew Research Center, over 70% of Indians today view Gandhi as the most important figure in their history. Yet his youth reveals a human frailty that makes his rise all the more intriguing. The real awakening came in South Africa, where Gandhi arrived in 1893 for a legal job. What was meant to be a brief stint turned into a 21-year crucible of injustice. Thrown off a first-class train in Pietermaritzburg for being colored, despite holding a valid ticket, Gandhi experienced raw racism that ignited his fire. This incident, often cited as his moment of truth, led to the birth of Satyagraha nonviolent resistance. But here's the suspenseful twist. Early in South Africa, Gandhi held views on race that today are controversially criticized. In his writings, he referred to black Africans as Kafirs and advocated for Indian rights above theirs, arguing in a 1903 petition that Indians should not be dragged down to the position of a raw Kafir. Historians like Ashwin Desai in the South African Gandhi highlight this as a flaw in his evolution. Yet by 1906, Gandhi led his first mass satyagraha against discriminatory laws, mobilizing thousands. Statistics show over 2,000 Indians were imprisoned during the 1913 strikes he organized, including women and children, proving the power of passive resistance. Nelson Mandela later praised Gandhi, saying, "Gandhi must be forgiven those prejudices and judged in the context of the time. This phase paradox fighting oppression while harboring biases arouses curiosity. How did such a man become a global symbol of equality?" Returning to India in 1950, Gandhi was no longer the timid lawyer but a seasoned activist. Welcomed as a hero by leaders like Gopal Krishna Gokhale, he traveled the country by third-class train to understand the masses' plight. His first major campaign was in Champaran, Bihar, in 1917, where he fought for indigo farmers exploited by British landlords. Through Satyagraha, he forced an inquiry that led to reforms, benefiting over 100,000 peasants. This victory sparked a nationwide curiosity. Could nonviolence really topple an empire? Gandhi's persuasive style shone in the 1919 Rowlatt Act protests. But the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, where British troops killed nearly 400 unarmed Indians, hardened his resolve. In a sensational move, he launched the non-cooperation movement in 1920, urging boycotts of British goods, schools, and courts. Over 30,000 Indians were arrested, and economic data from the time shows British textile imports to India dropped by 44%, crippling their economy. Winston Churchill famously derided Gandhi as a half-naked fakir. Yet this fakir mobilized millions, including women like Sarojini Naidu, who said, "Gandhi taught us that freedom is won not by violence, but by the strength of the soul." The 1930 Salt March remains one of history's most iconic acts of defiance, a paradoxical blend of simplicity and sensation. Frustrated by the British salt monopoly that taxed a basic necessity, Gandhi marched 240 miles from Sabarmati Ashram to Dandi with 78 followers. By the time he reached the sea on April 6, thousands joined, and he dramatically picked up salt, declaring, "With this, I am shaking the foundations of the British Empire." This act sparked nationwide civil disobedience. Over 60,000 were arrested, including Gandhi. International media sensationalized it, with Time magazine naming him Man of the Year in 1930. Statistics from the Indian National Congress reveal salt production boycotts cost the British millions in revenue, forcing the 1931 Gandhi-Irwin Pact for negotiations. But suspense built as talks failed, leading to more arrests. Here's a curiosity-provoking fact. Despite his peace advocacy, Gandhi supported Britain in World War II conditionally, recruiting over 2.5 million Indian soldiers, a move critics call hypocritical. As per historian Ramachandra Guha's Gandhi, the years that changed the world. Amid these triumphs, Gandhi's personal life held paradoxes that surprise even today. Committed to brahmacharya, celibacy, since 1906, he conducted controversial experiments to test his resolve, sleeping naked with young women, including his grandniece Manabin, as detailed in her diaries. While he claimed it strengthened his spiritual purity, modern scholars like Veena Howard and Gandhi's ascetic activism debated as exploitative, sparking #MeToo- like reflections. Gandhi's views on women were mixed. He empowered them in protest but believed their primary role was domestic, stating in a 1939 Harijan article, "Woman is the companion of man, gifted with equal mental capacities." On caste, he opposed untouchability, renaming Dalits Harijans, children of God, and fasting in 1932 against separate electorates. But critics argue he didn't dismantle the system fully. These facets add suspense. How could a man with such internal battles lead a nation to freedom? The Quit India movement of 1942 amplified the drama, with Gandhi's do-or-die speech urging total non-cooperation amid World War II. Over 100,000 arrests followed, and violence erupted despite his pleas for peace, resulting in thousands of deaths. Imprisoned until 1944, Gandhi's health deteriorated from fast, yet his influence grew. Post-war, Britain's weakened empire faced mounting pressure. A 1946 cabinet mission noted India's unrest as unsustainable. But freedom came with tragedy. The 1947 partition into India and Pakistan unleashed horrors, with over 1 million deaths in communal riots as per UNHCR estimates. Gandhi fasted to stop the violence, earning praise from Lord Mountbatten. In the Punjab, we have 55,000 soldiers and large-scale rioting on our hands. In Bengal, our forces consist of one man, and there is no rioting. Yet, on January 30th, 1948, Hindu nationalist Nathuram Godse assassinated him, shouting "Hey Ram" as Gandhi fell, a shocking end to a life of peace. Gandhi's journey to freedom wasn't flawless. It was a tapestry of triumphs, controversies, and human contradictions that reshaped the world. Over 2 billion people today live in nations inspired by his nonviolence, from Martin Luther King Jr. as civil rights marched to global peace movements. Yet, as we reflect on his legacy, one wonders, in an era of rising conflicts, could Gandhi's paradoxical path still guide us toward true liberation? Or does it challenge us to question the heroes we idolize?